Hi, I'm Mel Pickup, Chief Executive of Bradford Teaching Hospitals, and welcome to my latest weekly roundup of news across the Trust. I'm coming to you from a COVID secure area in our cervical screening unit here at Bradford Royal Infirmary, as we've just taken delivery of a new technology that will make a big difference to how we diagnose cervical cancer. More on that in a moment. Also this week, giant snowflakes have settled around our hospitals with a little help from Bradford Hospitals charity. But first, you may have heard about our pioneering COVID-19 vaccine trial, which is being run by Bradford's Patient Recruitment Centre. Our PRC is one of 5 centres across the country which have been introduced to make it easier for members of the community to take part in studies. They recently celebrated a milestone moment, their official launch, and here's Director of our centre, Professor Dinesh Saralaya, to tell us how the vaccine trial here is progressing.
We have already recruited 501 participants into the trial. We are now doing the second visits of these participants where they have a second or a booster dose of the vaccination of placebo. And we've also started monitoring the antibody response in the subject population as of last week. The UK as a country has been asked to recruit an additional 5,000 subjects over the target of 10,000. So we are recruiting 15,000 in total into the phase 3 trial. 3% of our total recruitments are from the BAME community, out of which only 12 participants have come from the South Asian background. To represent our population in Bradford, it's important that we enroll more BAME participants, and to that effect, we are sending a call out to as many BAME participants to enroll in the second wave of recruitment so that we can include a figure which will be representative of our population.
Thanks, Dinesh. It's really exciting to see such groundbreaking work taking place right here. Don't forget, if you'd like to find out how you can get involved in vital research, then you can head to the website for more information. Now, as promised, on to great news from our cervical screening unit, which I'm delighted to say has received funding from the Michelle Henderson Cervical Cancer Trust to introduce 2 new Z-scan devices. This cutting-edge technology will be used by our clinicians to further improve diagnosis of cervical cancer in women referred to BRI. Here's Nick Marson, consultant obstetrician and gynecologist, to explain what this means for patients.
This is a Z scanner. As you can see, it's a fairly simple handheld device. We use it as part of our standard colposcopy examination of the cervix. If a cell is undergoing precancerous change, then the characteristics of the cell are changing. That has a knock-on effect of changing the way the cell impedes or may conduct electricity. And this device allows us to take a series of readings by moving the sensor around the cervix, and it improves our ability to identify those patients who may have significant precancer changes. And because cervical screening has changed recently, and there's going to be a very big spike in colposcopy referrals for 2 to 3 years until the new system settles down, having this at BRI is going to be very useful in terms of maximising our efficiency.
Thanks, Nick. That's fantastic news. And it's good to know that cervical screening clinics are still running despite the pandemic. Now it's time to take a whistle-stop tour of news from around the rest of the Trust. As you can see, there's never a dull moment around here. And talking of kindness, I'd like to pass on a big thank you to everyone who's contributed to our first ever Snowflake appeal. It's seen lots of businesses and individuals, including Bradford City Football Club and Bowman Riley, sponsor giant snowflakes which are now on display around our sites. Here's Hayley Collis, Head of Fundraising for Bradford Hospital's charity, to explain how the appeal is going.
From the snowflakes alone, we've raised a whopping £6,000 in just a few weeks, which is incredible. So we launched our NHS Hospital Heroes appeal back in March. So some of this money is going to boost that hospital NHS Heroes appeal. And then some of the other businesses already had their heart set on supporting some other areas, like our neonatal appeal that we launched 2 years ago. So they have been able to choose the areas that they've wanted to support. For the patients, it's something beautiful to look at. And actually, if their loved ones are passing Duckworth Lane or any of the roads where they can actually see the lights as well, knowing that their loved ones are in hospital at this difficult time, hopefully it'll reassure them too that we're looking after them really well.
Thanks, Hayley. They really are a lovely addition to our hospitals. Well, that's nearly all for this week, but I don't want to go without reminding you to follow us on the usual social media channels. You know the ones. And finally, while the news about the new COVID-19 vaccines is hugely positive, they are not quite here yet. So please stay safe, stay vigilant, stay at home, and remember hands, face, space. I'll see you next week, and be kind to one another.